We have to call it school. Kids are expected to go to school, and they couldn't come here unless it was called school. Usually they come when they are 7 years old and stay until they are 14. The word school doesn't really describe this place because it doesn't say enough. The most important thing we do here are not the things most people think of when they think of school. What we care about most is the way a person grows as a part of this community. This is the children's own world, the place where they spend most of their time. We want them to experiment and learn through their own experience, to find out how a human community is made, to find out how to make one together, to find out how you can influence and change things if you want to. And we want them to bring this idea about life into their later lives. We are about 60 families, 75 children in all, and we are 6 teachers. Willy wanted to be an engineer when he was in school, but after he got to high school, he found it lonely and wrong for him, and he dropped out. For some years, and he had various jobs in factories as a mailman, a bus conductor, and then was drafted into the army. By the time he got out, he decided to be a teacher. And after 8 years teaching in the public schools, he became convinced that although some of the teachers thought about the kids, many of them only thought about their careers. And he finally gave up and left. The system was too big. After that, he taught in a private school for 4 years, until at last he realized that the children could have learned by themselves everything he had tried to teach them with his professional training. Here he works with people who care most about kids' life together as human beings. He is sure now that kids learn best when they are not taught, and he feels he knows as little about his world, where things are changing so fast, as the kids do about theirs. So they work together on an equal footing. Life began as a teacher in 1958, and for 13 years worked in the public schools, first as a substitute, and then for 11 years in one school. During those years, he found himself more and more on the side of the children against the administration. and finally decided he had to leave. He got a job for a year in one of the more progressive public schools in this town, and during that year he got to know this school. His daughter began here that year, and as they needed a teacher, he followed after. Kirsten is Willy's wife. When she got out of school, she wanted to train to be a nurse, but her father wanted her to be a dressmaker instead. But those were hard times in Denmark, and for 3 years after she was trained, there wasn't enough work, and she got a job in laundry. While she was working there, she met and married Willy. When their first baby was 2 years old, she decided to go to nursery training school. And by the time she was finished with that, they had 3 children. Those were tough years, doing the schoolwork and the practice teaching and being a mother. After she graduated as a teacher, she and Willy went together to teach in a free school. And they have been together in one ever since. Their kids have always been with them. In a way, this is their family.
My name is Liz. I lived all of my childhood in a state home for children, and there I lost my confidence in grown-ups, who think they always know what is good for children and when. But I have great faith in children, who are often more generous than grown-ups. I have 3 children, and we live together both at home and in school. Whether the children are at home or in school or somewhere else doesn't matter. They don't live by a schedule, but by their needs at different times. Public school was never an alternative for them, but rather the streets, the
difficulties. For years I worked in the public schools, mostly with backward children and children with reading troubles and other handicaps. For 10 years I was headmaster of another school, and when it split into 2 different camps of educational sort, joined this group of teachers and parents to make this leaderless school, where the children and parents and teachers decide everything together.
When I got out of school, I got a job on a factory and worked there for about 5 years. I learned on the teachers' college. I thought I could use it when I came out in the public school, but after a year, I could see that it was for no use to get along on that track. You had to find your own way. You were suppressing the kids every day, every lesson.
Now, 5 years later, I've come to this place where we are 6 teachers who have the same ideas and who work very well together. We divide this huge room with walls built of beer cases. We got 2,000 of them from Tuborg for nothing. We just had to take them away and then make portable walls that can be moved wherever we want and whenever we want to. We discuss in a school meeting where the walls should be, and we make a plan and then we do it. Every year the layout is different, and this year we changed it several times during the year. The library was too near the workshop. There was too much noise, so we took it to the other end of the building. We think that you learn best when you want it yourself. We wait to teach kids to read until they ask to be taught. when they do, it only takes about 30 hours, maybe about 3 months of short daily lessons. Last year, someone wanted to learn Morse code.
Ja, kom her og se, hvad du har fået det til. Det ved jeg ikke. Nu kan du komme herop. Prøv igen, Ole. Så prøver jeg at få det tag til at stå. Begynder du nu?
Værsgo!
Later, some of the boys built a hut in the woods, the way it was done in the Stone Age. In the early spring, 5 of the older kids went off for 4 days alone to a summer cottage by the sea and kept house together.
Så bestiller vi landbrug til morgen.
Min mand og mig. Bare frivilligt til at være. Det er musikken du danser, det plejer du ikke at gøre.
Jeg dækker bord.
Ja, nu danser du. Har du ikke sagt?
Jeg er simpelthen til at dække bord.
Hvad er det streng?
One morning, a visiting father taught Frank how to wire an extension cord. Mother was here one day and a lot of people made a chocolate cake. In the spring, they went out to the swamp and caught insects and fish and salamanders and made aquariums for them and learned about water temperatures and oxygen and plants and light. Every day, kids spend time in the gym with Liz. Now and then we clean the whole place. The daily life in this place is run by the school meetings. Everything that concerns the whole community has to be discussed and decided here. And we try to discuss the question until all agree. The kids decide here all the things that in most schools are decided for them by the administration. The school meeting discusses when visitors may come, and the school meeting decides what the school's money should be spent for. We have in 1 year about 30,000 crowns. One thing we often talk about is problems between people. If you think someone is teasing you, you can raise the matter and all can help to find a solution. And one of the most important things that we discussed was about our lunch. The kids buy the food and prepare the lunch for all of us. And we have a collective lunch now.
Hvorfor en af de der to?
Jeg tror ikke, du kan skære dem til dem her.
Du kan altså skære dem. Hvorfor en kniv til? Put two bananas there.
Du gode gud, du har også en hel masse her. Nis, der er stadigvæk noget, du skal have.
Det var pølse. Nej, så vil jeg skære det også.
Jeg laver på dig i går.
Og der er banan i dag.
The parents are part of school. They help to make it and they help to run it. They have meetings in the evenings to talk about everything here. They remember what school was like for them and they want this place to be different. They ask questions about our work and we discuss how we are doing it, kids and grown-ups together. The collective way of making decisions and the collective way the teachers and the parents think that it's a way we can get along with. When the kids get used to make collective decisions, they bring it home. The parents have to listen.
Most of them are going to work in jobs where they have to do with other people. They are going to be teachers and kindergarten teachers and social work and so on. Schools should help children to understand each other. When a child first comes to school, he is self-centered, and that means he is often aggressive. He needs to learn that he is needed by other children. When he finds this out, he isn't aggressive anymore. One of our boys, who had been to another school before he came to us, is Klaus. It's seldom that he is in conflict with the others. He can take it more easy. He is dynamic. He has a great need of moving, running and rushing and playing football and so on. I think he will be a very good and useful boy here in the school. He has a lot of energy and he will learn to use it.
They welded the carriage when we walked through Sweden. It could be dangerous, and people coming in and looking at it, they are frightened. Okay, they can burn their fingers and get blisters. And when they walk in the workshop with bare feet or on their socks, they might burn a little point. I think it's the way they make their experience. They go to the limit. How far can we get in this question? They are working with sharp tools too, very sharp, as sharp as they can be. And every Friday they come with their knives and want me to grind their knives so that it will be sharp. You can cut paper with it, and they like it. And okay, they get wounded sometimes, but they learn of it, and we all learn that. And when you know a thing yourself, you know where the limit is. But the most important thing we do here is talk to each other and listen to each other.
Ej, der